Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed. Today we're going to take a close look at the Sparrow Signature Hybrid Mattress from Nest Bedding. Now, Nest Bedding has long been one of the most popular manufacturers on GoodBed, and the Sparrow is their most popular model. So we're excited to give you our take on this mattress. Stick around. Now, just briefly, in case you've never seen one of our videos before or been to our website, the number one thing that you have to know about mattresses is that they're highly personal, meaning the best one for me will be very different from the best one for you and vice versa. That also means best mattress lists are meaningless, especially because those spots on those best mattress lists are sold by the publisher. But the most important thing that you need to know as a mattress shopper are what we call the 3 Fs: fit, feel, and features. Fit basically are the characteristics of a mattress that determine to what degree it will fit your body in terms of your weight, your shape, your preferred sleep positions, and the like. Feel are the characteristics of the mattress that cannot be universally better or worse. They could only be better or worse for your personal preferences. And then features are those things about the mattress that actually could be and can be and are better or worse. However, may or may not be a priority for you personally. So that framework is how you should be thinking about picking out a mattress, and it's also how we structure all of our product testing here at GoodBed and how we organize all of our reviews. So let's start with fit, because that's what's going to determine to what degree you get the 2 things that you absolutely have to get from your mattress, which is proper spinal alignment and adequate pressure relief. Now, in terms of the Sparrow, I should first start by clarifying that this model comes in 3 different softness levels: a firm, a medium, and a soft. I'm sitting on the medium. That's the one that we tested, but we'll talk a little bit about how we expect the firm or the soft to compare and really who they may be more applicable for. Now, in terms of the medium and the spinal alignment here, I do think that there's a reason why this is their most popular model and why, of course, it's the most popular of the 3 in this Sparrow collection. And that's because it does have sort of broad applicability to a wide range of sleepers. Let's start with side sleepers, since that's the majority of the population. Overall, I would say this is going to be a very good fit from a spinal alignment standpoint for really all side sleepers. I would say that it's going to get slightly better as you get heavier, actually, from a spinal alignment standpoint. There's a fair bit of firmness. We'll get to the softness and the cushioning depth and the conformance in a minute, but for now, just suffice to say that it's a fairly firm feel, and that will provide a little bit less conformance for someone who's on the lighter side as a side sleeper, and therefore, maybe not quite as good spinal alignment as someone on the heavier side will get, but not enough to change my overall assessment of how good the spinal alignment will be. So I'm going to classify them all as very good from the side sleeping standpoint across all the weights. In terms of back sleepers of different weights, I think that, again, it's going to be pretty strong and mostly very good spinal alignment. Maybe the one weight group I might say would be just slightly different is the heaviest people. So let's call those people over 250 pounds. I might say that the spinal alignment will be not quite as good for them, just because I do think you'll find a little bit more sinkage in your midsection, in your hips, which is for all of us the heaviest part of our body. And for that reason, I might say the spinal alignment there is not quite as good, but is still good. And then in terms of stomach sleepers, I would say this would be the area where maybe there's the most challenges for this mattress in accommodating. But even still, I would say that the lightest stomach sleepers, I think, would still get very good spinal alignment. The heaviest stomach sleepers would certainly have a drop off there in terms of their spinal alignment on account of that same thing that I just mentioned, where your heaviest part of your body can sink a little too far into this mattress due to some of the squishy comfort layers on top. And that on your stomach can be a recipe for trouble. But nonetheless, I think there's enough firmness here and rigidity to that Energex layer of foam right below the quilt to prevent that from happening too much. So I'd still say for the heaviest stomach sleepers, back support pretty good, and for the lightest stomach sleepers, back support very good. Someone like me would be somewhere in between. I would say it's still good, but maybe not the best. In terms of pressure relief, first of all, this is principally going to be a consideration just for side sleepers, because that's the position in which your weight is distributed over the smallest surface area, so that's where you're most likely to encounter pressure points. And in this case, I would say the pressure relief maybe not quite as good as the spinal alignment here, again on account of the firmness of the foams used up at the top of the mattress and the quilt patterns and so forth. But overall, I would still say that the pressure relief here is good for the lightest sleepers, and in general, I'd say maybe still pretty good certainly no worse than pretty good for other sleepers like heavier people, or for that matter, curvier folks who have more curves to accommodate and who therefore basically have a little bit more difficulty finding good pressure relief. So all of that was for the medium. And what I would say is that, again, there are 3 models in this Sparrow collection. And I think if you are a heavier stomach sleeper, for example, where I mentioned that the spinal alignment could be a challenge for you on the medium, I think the clear choice for you is to go with the firm version of this mattress. And I think your spinal alignment issues will be resolved on that model. With regards to a lighter side sleeper, I do think that you might prefer the softer one, particularly from a pressure relief standpoint, but also from a spinal alignment standpoint, I think. So that's kind of how I would direct you if you are choosing from among the products in this line. Everyone else, I think the medium is generally going to be a good option, if not the best option. All right, so now we're going to move on to the second of the 3 F's, which is feel. And again, these are the characteristics of the mattress that can't be universally better or worse. They can only be better or worse for your personal preferences. The first of these is softness. And in the case of the medium version of the Nest Sparrow, we would classify this as a medium firm on our softness spectrum, which is, we've got a 9-point softness spectrum with 5 being a dead medium. So this would be a 4, essentially just 1 point to the firmer side of medium. But within that medium firm classification, I would put this kind of at the firmer end. There is a fair bit of firmness to this surface of this mattress and to the next layer down. So like the way this is quilted with 2 inches of memory foam kind of tightly packed into this quilt, and then below that you've got an Energex layer that is kind of a medium to medium firm type of feel to it, especially for where it is in the mattress. Overall, that does create its weird combination of, there is some sort of squish to it, and obviously like it gives when you kind of roll around on the mattress, but as you're lying on it, it's a little, there is a bit of firmness to it that you'll notice. And so that's why we'd say it is a medium firm, but maybe just a little bit towards the firmer end of that classification. And speaking of squishiness, that brings me to the second feel characteristic, which is cushioning depth, which is something different than softness, and it is really more what defines whether you are going to sleep in your mattress or on your mattress. They can be related, but they are not always related, so they are separate characteristics. Sleeping in your mattress is that kind of hugged or cradled sensation, and sleeping on your mattress is more of that floating above your mattress sensation. And this is a perfect example of a preference-based characteristic. In this case, the Nest Sparrow, while having even a little bit firmer than medium feel, it also has a little bit more of that sleeping in your mattress type of sensation. You're going to get a little bit more sinkage, and you are going to get a little bit more conformance. Those top layers are going to conform as you roll around onto your side, where you have more pointy parts like your shoulders as an example. It is going to accommodate those more so than your average mattress will. So overall, you'll get a little bit more of that kind of hugged or cradled sensation and a little bit more conformance on this mattress than average. The next feel characteristic is the amount of memory feel, and there is technically 2 inches of memory foam in the quilt layer of this mattress, but as we'll show you later in the video, this is pretty quick responding memory foam. So I would say that I can feel a little bit of delayed responsiveness on this mattress, but it's very, very subtle, and the recovery is very quick. So you're definitely, if you're someone who's worried about that too much of that slow melting sensation, like feeling like quicksand, or conversely feeling like you're stuck in a hole and can't roll out of it, you really don't have to worry about any of that on this mattress. And in fact, we would say that even net of having 2 inches of memory foam in the quilt, this mattress has less memory feel than the average mattress today, recognizing that memory foam is a pretty pervasive material. So the average mattress today has some amount of memory feel, this being not quite as much as the average. The next feel characteristic is the amount of bounce in the mattress. And I'd say this mattress from top to bottom has just a little bit more than average amount of bounce. On the top of the mattress, that little more than average amount of bounce is really coming from that Energex layer that's right below the quilt, which has a bit of faster than average responsiveness. And it's not too much offset by the memory foam because, as I mentioned, it's pretty quick recovery memory foam. In the middle of the mattress, likewise, it's the Energex layer, as well as to a degree the coils are pushing a bowling ball back up with a little bit above average amount of bounce. And then of course, even when I plop my whole nearly 200-pound frame down on the mattress, it brings me back up with just a little bit more than an average amount of bounce. So on balance, if you like a mattress that has a little bit of bounce but not a ton of bounce, I think this is going to be a good choice for you. All right, so now we've moved on to the third and final of the 3 Fs, which are the features. And these, again, are the things that can be better or worse, however, may or may not be a priority for you personally. The first being a great example of this, which is motion isolation, because this is going to be important to you if you sleep with a partner or if you have kids or pets coming in during the night, possibly disturbing your sleep, because really motion isolation is about the degree to which someone on this side of the mattress will be aware of or disturbed by what's happening over on the other side of the mattress. And we test this several different ways on the Sparrow mattress, and no matter whether I'm putting my whole 200-pound frame into bed inconsiderately, or whether I'm just dropping a bowling ball into the bed, really the Nest Sparrow does excellent and shows to have excellent motion isolation no matter how we test it. The next feature we tested is temperature, or the ability of the mattress to keep you cool and comfortable during the night. Now, first and foremost, I should say that this is a very personal factor, and it's going to depend probably more on the tendency you have to sleep hot during the night, whether because of your body or because of the kind of general conditions of your bedroom environment, if you live in a hot, humid place or don't have air conditioning or whatever. Those things are going to be probably a way better predictor of whether you're going to sleep hot on this mattress than anything I could tell you about the mattress itself. That being said, all else being equal, there are some factors related to the mattress that can influence to what degree you're likely to sleep hot on a mattress. And in this case, I'd say there's like maybe one thing working against it and a few things working for it. In the case of what's working against it, it would just simply be the fact that there's about 5 inches of high density foam right up at the top of this mattress, 2 inches of memory foam in the quilt, and then a 3-inch layer of high density polyfoam, ultra high density in our estimation, polyfoam right below that. Now, in general, high density foam is great, and there's many good reasons for having high density foam, many benefits to having it. However, there is one drawback, which is that it is a little bit harder for heat to kind of escape through the foam. It's less airflow in a sense because of the density. So that would be what is working against you in this case. However, what is working for you are a few things. Number one, you do have some phase change material up in this cover. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really feel it the way I often can feel phase change material in terms of a palpable coolness to the touch, but it is in here. They call it thermic phase change material. And basically what I can tell you is how phase change material works is that it is microscopic wax beads. That's how you should think of it anyways. And essentially when the heat from your body reaches those beads, the wax inside the beads changes state from a solid to a liquid. And basically as it's doing that, it is drawing heat into the bead. That's what's like allowing the phase to change. And when that happens, it creates the sensation of coolness outside the bead, which is what you perceive. And so it's also kind of able to regulate your temperature in that way. Now, it's not something that's designed to be effective all night. There's a point in time where all the beads have turned to liquid, and at that point it ceases to have any kind of cooling effect. But it's designed to be effective for the period of time it takes you to fall asleep on the mattress. So that's one thing that you have going for you on the top of this mattress. The next thing you have going for you on the top of this mattress is this quilting. We have, in general, we talk about body surface area exposure as a factor when it comes to sleeping hot. Now, this is a mattress, as we talked about, that you're going to sink a little bit more than average into, but because of this quilting and because of this, the undulations in the surface, that gives plenty of places where kind of air can get in between the surface of the mattress and your body, which just gives your body more ways to dispel heat in the most efficient way possible, which is by interacting with the air as opposed to having it go into the mattress. The third thing that you have going for you with this mattress is that you do have right below those 5 inches of foam that I mentioned, you have a 6-inch coil layer that is basically 99% air. Those coils go edge to edge. There's no foam perimeter in this mattress. So basically edge to edge coils being 99% air, there's a ton of airflow at that level of the mattress. So really at that point, once the heat reaches that point, it's going to easily be able to escape, and you'll constantly have some newer air able to come in from underneath through that layer. So on balance, when we look at all those considerations, we would still say that the temperature or cooling capabilities of this mattress are good. The next feature we tested is edge support, which may be important to you if you like to sit on the bed occasionally, like I'm doing right now, or if you find yourself frequently lying along the edge of the mattress for whatever reason. And we tested this both ways, of course, and found that the mattress did well in each case. We found that sitting on the edge of the bed, the edge support is certainly good. Not quite as good, though, as lying on the edge of the bed, where we found it to be really very good. So overall, we generally tend to put a little bit more emphasis on the ratings that we come up with for lying on the edge of the bed, just because that really is the position you're more likely to be in for hours at a time, rather than just for a few moments putting on your shoes, for example. And it also kind of affects the useful surface area of your mattress. If you have a strong edge, you get basically more mattress that you can use. So in general, how that nets out is we would say that the Sparrow has very good edge support. The next feature that I'll just cover very briefly is the ease of repositioning on the mattress. This is really not going to be an issue for most people on any mattress, but for those who are worried about that, particularly on a mattress that does have 2 inches of memory foam in the quilt, I just want to reassure you that we consider the ease of repositioning here to be very good. As I mentioned, this is quick recovery memory foam, and I'll show you even later in the video what it looks like, and so therefore it does not really serve to impede your movements much at all. The next feature we tested is the degree of natural materials in the mattress, or maybe more importantly, the lack of harmful chemicals. And in this case, this is not a mattress that Nest is making any claims about being a natural mattress, or even for that matter, having natural materials in it. They do, however, just as a point of information, if natural materials are something that you are looking for in a mattress, within Nest's product portfolio, they have many great options that are full of natural materials, so you definitely ought to check those out. But this doesn't happen to be one of them. So what I can tell you is that as it relates to the latter point, the lack of harmful chemicals, all of the foams used in this mattress are certified to the CertiPure standard, which is a standard that looks for both the presence of and off-gassing of various harmful materials and certifies that neither are present beyond some minimally acceptable threshold. So if this is an area of concern for you, I do think that's something that you can take some comfort from with regards to this mattress. The next feature we tested is adjustable base compatibility, because that's something that more and more of our readers are asking us about. They want to be able to use their mattress on an adjustable base, whether now or in the future, and they want to be able to kind of elevate the head, elevate the feet, and so forth. And the first thing you need to know is that this is an adjustable base compatible mattress according to the manufacturer, which is important to start with, because that means that the mattress was designed to bend and flex. They had that in mind when they designed this mattress, and it's not going to give you any problems with your warranty if you use it on an adjustable base. So that's first and foremost. Beyond that, we look at a couple different things. Number one is how well can the mattress conform to the curves of an adjustable base, particularly when put to the most extreme test of having both the head and the foot fully elevated at the same time. And in this case, we would say we've seen mattresses that can conform a little bit better to that base right out of the box than we did with this one. That being said, this isn't too big of a concern for us, because we do think that as you use this mattress on an adjustable base, or for that matter, just use it in general, I think it will break in and it will ultimately get much better on that front. But nonetheless, that is one of the things that we looked at. The second thing we looked at was just, does anything weird happen when you have it on an adjustable base and you have the head and foot elevated and it's kind of being bent in those ways? In this case, the only thing that we found that is weird, which is pretty typical of quilted mattresses, is that there is a bit of bunching underneath your seat area when you kind of have both head and foot elevated, kind of making that valley where your butt goes. Basically, there's a little bit of bunching of the quilt. Now, this is not an issue when you are sitting on the bed while elevating the head and foot. You don't feel anything there. But if someone, for example, were to be not sitting on the bed and then the bed's already elevated and they're getting into bed once that kind of bunching has occurred, they might feel it a little bit. But to be honest, it was better than a lot of quilted mattresses, partly on account of that higher density, more velvety memory foam, just kind of bending and flexing a little bit more easily within that quilt layer. So on balance, what we would say is the adjustable base compatibility here is good. Now, 3 things that are going to be important to you anytime you're buying a mattress online, as you'll most likely do with this Nest Sparrow mattress, are delivery, return policy, and warranty. In terms of delivery, it's real simple. Nest offers free delivery right to your doorstep. From there, all you need to do is get it, into your house, into your bedroom, and unbox it. It's super simple. We do recommend, though, just on account of the weight of the box, that it's a 2-person job to kind of move that around. In terms of return policy, Nest offers a very generous return policy, 365 nights, during which time you can return the mattress for any reason for a full refund, no return fees of any kind, if it turns out to be not right for you. The only thing they do ask is that you keep the mattress for at least 30 days just to give your body time to adjust to a new mattress in general, which is, by the way, a very standard clause in all mattress return policies. And then they also offer this something called a lifetime renewal exchange, which comes standard as part of this mattress, which basically entails Nest offering you the ability to change out this top layer of foam, the one that kind of you reveal when you unzip this cover, for another 3-inch layer of foam for free. It's just part of their program. So that's something that you could use to just change the feel of the product if what you ordered doesn't seem like the right fit for you, or if somewhere down the line you feel like you want to make a change or freshen it up because it's starting to not perform the way it used to. You can take advantage of that in any number of ways. And finally, as it relates to warranty, Nest also offers a very generous warranty. In fact, it's a lifetime warranty, and remarkably, it's not prorated. So basically, in other words, as long as you remain the owner of this mattress, you will retain full coverage under their warranty. And on top of that, their warranty defines a body impression, which this, by the way, is a very important term in any mattress warranty. What do they consider to be an acceptable or a normal amount of sagging? In this case, they define it as 1 inch, which is better than the industry standard of 1.5 inches. So they're willing to stand by their product to the point where they're willing to more stringently define what's an allowable sag to only 1 inch or less, and maintain that standard for the entire lifetime that you own this product, no matter how long that may be. All right, so now let's take a peek at what's actually inside one of these Nest Sparrow mattresses. And the first thing I'm going to do is open up this zipper here, which is super easy to do, obviously. So we can talk about this cover and the quilt layer. So the cover itself is just kind of a stretchy material with a quilt pattern here in it that kind of gives it just a little bit more firmness than it would have without that quilt pattern. Basically tightening up the foam in underneath those stitching patterns is all it really does, because there is 2 inches of foam inside of that quilt. So basically this is the quilt package. So you see in here there are 2 inches of what they call memory foam. It's 4-pound density memory foam, although I want to point out that this is not the kind of slow melting, slow recovery memory foam that you're probably thinking of, or that, for that matter, that I generally think of. This would be, you know, in the scheme of all viscoelastic foam, very quick responding. It kind of just feels a little bit more like regular polyfoam in terms of its delayed recovery or responsiveness. You're not getting that slow melting type of sensation, but of course you are still getting a higher density formulation of foam that does respond, obviously, by being memory foam. It does mean it's temperature sensitive. So, 2 inches of that. And then you do have some fiber in here, which I'm, to be honest, not sure what it is. It looks like wool, but they don't mention anything about wool, so it's probably just some sort of poly fiber. And this cover has that thermic phase change material that I mentioned previously. And then basically that is what sits above this 3-inch layer of Energex foam. Now, Energex foam is basically a engineered foam. It's about a 3-pound density, this particular formulation of Energex foam, and it's fairly firm, I would say. This is like medium, I guess medium-ish, but on the firmer side for how high this is up into the mattress. In fact, there's a sticker on here that says 22 ILD. So for something that's right below the quilt layer, that's relatively firm, which kind of explains why we came to the softness conclusion that we did. And what's nice about the way they designed this layer is that you can obviously remove this piece of foam very easily, replace it. If there's any issues with it, whether immediately when you receive the mattress because it doesn't feel like the right feel that you're looking for, or over time because of, you know, durability or what have you. And in fact, that also ties to that lifetime renewal exchange program that I mentioned previously. So I think that's a really clever and nice design that Nest does with this mattress. Below that, basically, that's just sitting on kind of a fabric sheet there, and then that's so you can't see the coils below that, and you're not going to be messing with the coils when you change out that layer. But below that, what you have is basically 3 more layers, the coils being the main part, but you do have a 1-inch layer of kind of transition foam. It's a 1.5 pound density transition foam. And then you've got these coils. These are 6-inch coils, pocket springs. And you can basically see there's pretty standard pocket springs. You do actually have some edge coils going around the perimeter, a couple of rows of reinforced 14.5 gauge coils going around the edge, which does help a little bit on the edge to give it more support there. And then below that, of course, you just have 1 inch of kind of base foam, serving really no purpose other than to give those coils something solid to rest on, which is an important part of designing a mattress. And then lastly, of course, all of that is wrapped into this side panel, this nice quilted side panel here, which just gives it a nicer look and feel, and kind of makes it so you don't feel the coils as you run your handle on the edge of the mattress. And then of course that side panel on both sides has a couple of handles. So 4 total handles, which just makes it a lot easier to lift this mattress, maneuver it, move it around wherever you need to go. All right, so based on what we've talked about, I just want to summarize my take on this mattress for you. Basically, first of all, let's start with the materials. I do really like the fact that they use 5 inches of very high quality, high density. In fact, in the case of this Energex foam, we'd even call it ultra high density foams right up at the top of the mattress. Density, as you may know from other videos we've done or other materials we've published, is the best predictor of longevity that we have when it comes to foam. And so that to me indicates that it's not likely to cause you problems down the line. On top of that, they also have this lifetime renewal exchange program that I think is super great. You can easily unzip this mattress cover and remove the top 3-inch layer of Energex foam and replace it with whatever you want. And in fact, Nest will actually do it for you. They'll give you a free layer of foam one time during the time that you own this mattress, which is an amazing bonus. So that could be used whether you kind of, when you buy the mattress, you feel like I chose the wrong one, or I wanted a different, want to make it feel differently right from the outset, or whether you feel like 8 years from now, the mattress is kind of not responding the way it used to and you want to freshen up that layer. Either way, I think that's an amazing ability to do that without having to replace your entire mattress. Those are a couple of things that I really like in how they design this mattress. We talked about how, in terms of its feel, is kind of unique. It's got a little bit firmer than average, medium firm amount of feel, but it has a little deeper than average cushioning depth, a little more of that sleeping in your mattress type of sensation. Those two things, like I said, can be different. A lot of people conflate them, a lot of manufacturers even conflate them into one characteristic. In this case, when they diverge, it's always kind of interesting and creates a unique feels and effects. And in most cases where you have a little bit more cushioning depth than you do softness, which is the case here, it's because you have a lot of memory foam and a lot of that firm memory foam particularly. In this case, you do have memory foam, but I don't think that's really what's driving it. It's sort of created by a little bit of a different effect. And in fact, as I mentioned, this is not a mattress that has a whole lot of memory feel. So if you like that dichotomy, you like the ability to kind of sleep in your mattress a little bit more, but you also don't want it to be too cushy soft, this is a unique option for you, particularly if you also don't want it to have a whole lot of memory feel. So that is something very unique about this mattress that I think could appeal to a lot of people. And also I want to point out that we talked about there being 3 softness levels in this mattress, the firm, medium, and the soft. I think that the ratio of sort of softness to cushioning depth is likely to be the same, but you can adjust how much of those two things you get. So for example, we said a little bit less than average softness, a little bit more than average cushioning depth on the medium. If you wanted to move towards the softer end on the soft model, you might end up with a medium amount of softness and a more materially deeper amount of cushioning. Likewise, or conversely, if you wanted to move to the firm, you might end up with a firm amount of softness and then also a medium amount of cushioning depth. So I think the ratio will stay the same between the two, but you can kind of move the two up and down as a unit by choosing between the firm, medium, and the soft. And in terms of spinal alignment and pressure relief, I talked about how I think that this will, within the 3 models available here, the firm, the medium, and the soft, there's going to be choices available that will suit a very broad range of sleepers, which I really like. And on top of that, we talked about how if edge support is important to you, the Sparrow is going to give you very good edge support. And if motion isolation is important to you, it's going to give you excellent motion isolation. So on balance, if all of those features and characteristics that I just described sound like a good match for your personal needs, preferences, and priorities, then I certainly think that the Sparrow mattress from Nest Bedding is one that you should consider. So there you have it. We hope you found this to be a helpful review of the Nest Bedding Sparrow Signature Hybrid Mattress. For more information about this mattress, check it out on GoodBed.com. You can find the link to our information about this mattress right in the description of this video. And while you're there, you can also compare this mattress side by side with any other mattress that you may be considering across all of the features, characteristics, and assessments that we covered in this video. I think that's a super helpful tool. You can find the compare feature right up in the header of our website. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we really hope you sleep well.